If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes. The duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Your heart is slightly bigger than the average human heart, but that's because you're a teacher. Teachers can change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Students, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Teachers have 3 loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first 2 loves together. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Education doesn't just make us smarter, it makes us whole. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is best. I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. I like a teacher who gives you something to take home to think about besides homework. I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet, strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. A teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the pupil with a desire to learn is hammering on cold iron. Good teachers know how to bring out the best in students. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Change is the end result of all true learning. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. The learning process continues until the day you die. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. They know enough who know how to learn. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. They cannot stop me. I will get my education if it is in the home, school, or any place. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. He who opens a school door closes a prison. Education is the ability to meet life situations. Learning starts with failure.
Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible? All right, thank you. Thank you once again for registering and attending this one-week national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research, which is organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC of Government College Kottayam in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, the KSHEC. We would like to welcome today Dr. Mendes Jacob, who is the Professor and Director of MCA, Marine College, Kottayam, Autonomous. He will be the resource person. And we would also like to welcome all the FTP participants of today. Now, about this FTP, this is a one-week FTP program with live timing of from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is our 5th day of the FTP. If you have any trouble in attending the WebEx online session, you can also join the YouTube live session with the link I will provide in the chat now. My name is Sijin Jacob George. I'm working as Global Relations Manager with HR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming on to today's session, today's technical session, the topic will be mapping of outcomes, calculation of attainment, and analytical reports, AI-assisted assessment. This will be delivered by Dr. Mendes Jacob, who is a professor and director at Marine College, Kottayam, Autonomous. Dr. Mendes Jacob is an academician and an entrepreneur with 35 plus years of experience and is the former director of School of Applicable Mathematics, MG University. He has acted as chairman and member of many academic bodies constituted by the university. He is also a member of academic and administrative bodies of many autonomous colleges, engineering colleges, and business schools. He is a PhD in operating research and has to his credit a number of national and international publications. He is a research guide of Lincoln University, Malaysia. He has served as a resource person for many national and international seminars and conferences in mathematics, management, and computer applications. He has organized, conducted, and served as resource person for a number of faculty development programs, including UGC-sponsored refresher courses. His areas of interest include national education policy, outcome-based education, accreditation. He is also the CEO of IPESA Solutions Limited, an IT company supporting higher education institutions in the implementation of outcome-based education and innovative teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sijin. Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, once again, welcome to this faculty development program on outcome-based education. So for the last 4 days, we were discussing about the basic concepts of OB. Like we started with the Bloom's taxonomy, then design of outcomes, and the 2 sessions by Dr. Thomas Lagi and Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. They have explained the relevance of OB, how OB can be a game changer in the education scenario. So today we will discuss how to calculate the attainment of outcomes. Before that, we'll have a small section on the mapping of outcomes. Then we'll also discuss about the various analytical reports from the OB attainments, so that it can be used for accreditation purpose. And tomorrow again, we will discuss further on the OB analytics and how these analytics reports can be used for accreditation purpose. Then probably the AI assisted assessments, everything we will discuss tomorrow. So we'll start with the mapping of outcomes, and in between we can have some interactions. Okay. I hope my voice is audible, no? I'm audible?
Yes, sir. It is all.
Yeah. Okay. So let's share my screen. So we will start where Dr. Sunil Job has stopped. Actually, Dr. Sunil Job was explaining about the design of outcomes, starting from the PEOs, then the POs, PSOs, and the course outcomes, COs. So now we will see how this can be mapped. And this mapping should be done before the attainment calculation. And there are two levels of mapping. You can see the level 1 is the CO-PO mapping or CO-PSO mapping. For the time being, we will avoid PEO because we will calculate the attainment of PEO through indirect methods, through surveys or alumni surveys or interaction with employees. We can calculate PEO. But for the faculty members, they should be concerned about this mapping from CO to PO and CO to PSO. And again, how each activity, the learning activities and assessment activities can be mapped with the different course outcomes. That also we will see. So there are two levels of mapping, as I mentioned earlier. Level 1 mapping is CO-PO mapping and CO-PSO mapping. Level 2 mapping is the activity or assessments we can map with the different COs. And we will explain this, we'll discuss it with some examples. So with the assessment in OB, you can see final assessment is done by the estimation of program outcome and program specific outcomes, which will serve as a profile of the students' competencies. So that is a final assessment. And POs and PSO are estimated from the component of COs related to the respective PO and PSO. Because we will be mapping COs with the respective POs and PSOs. So we will calculate the attainment of COs, and from there we will calculate the attainment of POs and PSOs. COs are estimated from the component learning outcome of the activity related to the course. So intended learning outcomes. So for example, we are conducting a lot of learning activities, and in addition to that, there may be assessments, like we will have assignments, projects, then seminars, then exams. So all these are components. So from these components, we will calculate COs. The first step in this process is to determine the mapping of the related components and determining the strength of mapping between lower order and higher order outcomes. Lower order outcomes means the course outcomes, and higher order means POs and PSOs. Now, we should have a standardized mapping scale for a OB. So every institution can develop their own policy. So we can start with an OB manual that I will explain it tomorrow. So when we are going for an accreditation, definitely you can start with an OB manual. So in the OB manual, you can mention your policies. And there is a template of OB manual that is provided in the learning management system. You can download it and you can customize it according to the institution's needs. So in the OB manual, you can mention about the mapping scale. And this is an example of a mapping scale. You can use a 4-point scale or a 5-point scale or even a 7-point scale according to the policy of the institution. Now, I am presenting before you one particular mapping scale. This is a 4-point scale. You can see the weightage 0, 1, 2, and 3. Whereas relationship nil, low, moderate, significant, and percentage of attainment 0%. If the percentage of attainment is 0, the weightage is 0. The attainment is nil. And there is an interval from 1 to 50%. And from 1 to 50%, there's a low attainment, and the weightage can be 1. Similarly, 51 to 70%, I have put this interval in this example. Moderate attainment, and the weightage is only 2. Whereas for a significant attainment, we have an interval starting from 71 and 71 to 100%. So this also can change. This interval you can change according to the institution's policy. Okay, so this is only an example of a mapping scale. Now, we will do one example how we can map the activities or assessment with the course outcomes. Now, we had a course on Bloom's taxonomy the first day. Now, I have given an outcome. I have designed a course outcome for this particular course. And you can see, this is the course outcome. On completion of this course, the participants will be able to apply the Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. So this is a course outcome for the course Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. So I have designed a course outcome. Which is the level of this course outcome? So we have different learning levels, like starting from remember level, then understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So there are 6 levels. And the first level, we call it K1, second level, K2, likewise. So this is a course outcome. And what is the level of this course outcome? Can somebody respond? You can put it in the chat box. K1, K2, K3, K4. Which is the level of this course outcome? K3. Okay. So this is an application level CO course outcome. So we can have, this is a K3. Yeah, K3 level. Fine. Now our CO is of K3 level. Now, I want to check whether the participants have attained this outcome. For that purpose, I will conduct exams. I may have other assessments. So suppose I am conducting an exam, and this is one of the questions in the question paper. Explain the different levels of learning in cognitive level. So my course outcome is the participant should be able to apply Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. And here, to check whether the participants have attained this outcome, I have conducted an exam, and this is one of the questions in the exam. Explain the different levels of learning in cognitive level. So what is the level of this question? According to the Bloom's taxonomy levels, what is the level of this question? K4, K2. Yeah. So this is K2 because this is the understanding level. Explain. This is not K4. K4 means analyze level. No, this is not analyze level. You can see the action verb explain. So that comes under the second level, understanding. Okay. So this question is of understanding level, and my course outcome is of apply level. Now I have to map this particular question with this apply level CO. And my question is understanding level, K2 level. And my course outcome is K3 level. So what should be the mapping strength? Can somebody respond? I have to map this question to CO. What should be the mapping strength? 1. Any other suggestions? 2. Okay. So we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. These are the mapping. These are the levels. Okay. Yeah, you suggested 2. Okay. Now you can see the course outcome is level 3 and question is level 2. That means course outcome is 1 level up than the question. Okay. Of course, we can give weightage 2. So the mapping strength is 2. That's fine. Good. Then another question. Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an application level question in your subject. So this question number 2, I have to map it with CO. CO is of level 3, K3. And what is the level of this question? Level of this question is 3, apply level. Okay. This is apply level, not evaluation level. Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an application level question in your subject. That means you have to prepare an application level question according to the Bloom's taxonomy concept in your subject. Okay, this is fine. So this question is of level 3. The CO is of level 3. And if I want to map this question to the CO here, what will be the mapping strength? Anybody? 3. Okay. Yeah. Definitely, it is 3 because my CO is of level 3 and my question is also of level 3. So perfect matching. No? So perfect matching. So we can give 3, value 3. Okay. Then one more example. Another course outcome. On completion of this course, again, the course is Bloom's taxonomy. On completion of this course, the participants will be able to analyze the questions based on Bloom's taxonomy levels. What is the level of this CO? Yeah, this is level 4, analyze level CO. So if you are given 100 questions, the participant should be able to analyze the questions based on Bloom's taxonomy level. So that is level 4. That's fine. Now, my question is this one. What are the different levels of learning in cognitive level? What is the level of this question? The level of this question is 1. Okay. It's not 2. This is 1 because this is the remember level question. Start with the action verb what. What are the different levels of learning in cognitive level? So the student can write the answer from his memory. Just memorize the concept, then he can write the answer. Okay, what is the level of this question? It is level 1. Now the level of CO is 4, level 4, K4. So what should be the mapping strength? If I want to map this particular question to the CO, 0, 1, 0, okay. Yeah, 2. So different answers are coming, 0, 1, 2. Okay. See, the question is of level 1. The CO is level 4. Okay. So you can give at least 1 because 0 means there is no correlation. But there is some relationship with the this CO. This question has some relationship with this CO. So you can give 1, a low level mark. Another question, the same question. Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an application level question in your subject. So what is the level of mapping now? What is the level of the question is 3, application level. Level of question is application level, that is level 3. So what would be the mapping strength? My question is, I want to map this question to the CO. And CO is of analyze level. So what should be the mapping strength? 2, CO mapping of 2. Actually, our mapping strength is 0, 1, 2, 3. We have already explained. Maybe there are some latecomers. So we have shown it. I have shown a table where the mapping strength is mentioned. So we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. These are the 4 levels of mapping. This is a 4-point scale. So here we can see the question is only 1 level less than the course outcome. So we can give 2. It is not perfect matching. You cannot give 3, but it's 1 level less. So you can give 2. So in this way, we can map every questions or assignments or what all assessments activities we used to conduct. We can map all these assessment activities with COs. The only thing is you just check the level of the course outcome and level of the question or assessment activity. Okay, so you can map it. Otherwise, even you can use a formula. It's a very simple formula. If you want, you can write that formula. Level of question divided by level of CO. Level of question divided by level of CO into 100. Level of question divided by level of CO into 100. We can check for the first one. Level of question is 1. Level of CO here is 4. This analyze level C. So 1 by 4 into 100. 1 by 4 into 100, you will get 25. And in the interval for the mapping strength, from 1 to 50%, we are giving mapping strength 1. Okay. So you can give 1. But the second case, you can see 3 by 4 into 100. Even you can give 3, but 3 by 4 into 100 is 75. So from 71 to 100%, you can give 3. That is a level. But here we have given only 2. Okay. So that is the border. So you can, even if you give 2 or 3, it's not a problem. It will not make much difference when we calculate the attainment. Okay. So by practice, you can do it maybe in half an hour. You can do all the mapping. Like we can have the question paper with you. You can even less than 20 minutes or 15 minutes. You can do it with practice. So this is the way we can map with the questions or the assessment activities with the course outcomes. Just check the level of CO, check the level of the assessment activity, and you can map. And here also you are using Bloom's taxonomy. So if you want to implement OB in a proper way, it is very important that you should be thorough with the Bloom's taxonomy concept. It's very important. Okay. I think this is okay. We'll pass on to the next one. Now, suppose we have a exam. It's only an example. We have around 15 questions for a internal exam. And you can list all the questions like this. And you can see the mapping. For example, question number 1 mapped with the CO1 with a mapping strength 2. That means the question number 1 is starting with explain. So it will be an understanding level question or level 2, whereas CO1 may be an apply level CO. That is why the mapping strength is 2 in that case. So you can see you will get a table like this once if you conduct an internal exam. After the internal exam, you can have a table like this, and this is the mapping scale. Okay. Now coming to the CO-PO mapping or CO-PSO mapping, both are same. That is level 1 mapping. So how will you map course outcomes with POs? Okay, how will you map course outcomes with program outcomes? For this purpose, suppose you are choosing a program outcome number 1. We'll start with PO1. Okay, first of all, identify the competencies related to PO1. When we were designing the PO1, Dr. Sunil Job was explained how we will design a PO, program outcome, from graduate attributes. So if you have a graduate attribute like a communication skills or something like that, then first of all, you have to identify the competencies related to that graduate attribute. Then we will write the PO statement, starting with the action verb. Then you have to mention all the competencies. And finally, the context. So here, suppose we are choosing PO1. List down all the competencies of PO1. Okay. Now, suppose if you want map a course outcome with this PO1. And for the course outcome, again, it starts with an action verb. And there will be a learning statement. Okay. Now, check how many of these competencies of this PO1 are addressed by the CO. Suppose this is CO1. Want to map CO1 with the PO1. First of all, identify the competencies of PO1. Then check how many of these competencies are addressed by the CO1. Okay. If 40% or more than the competencies are addressed by that CO1, the mapping strength you can give 3. And if it is between 25% and 40%, you can give 2. And between 5% and 25%, you can give 1. And if it is less than 5%, you can give 0. So this is the way you can map each and every CO with different POs and PSOs. Okay. Maybe the initial time you may find some difficulty, but as faculty members, I can tell you, this is just like a paper valuation. Maybe for the initial 5 or 10 answer papers, you need more time. And the rest of the answer papers, you will value maybe in less time. So the same way, for the initial, maybe the initial practice sessions, you may find some difficulty, but this you can do it maybe in 1 hour. So every faculty who is in charge of a course, they have to do it in the beginning of the semester. Suppose you are teaching 3 courses in a semester. So maximum it will take 1 hour or 1.5 hours to map the COs of the respective courses with the POs. Okay. So this is the way we can map COs with the POs. And you will get a a table like this. This is an example. We have 5 course outcomes. You can see in the first column number 1, listed in the course column number 1. Then we have the POs. There are 9 POs in this case. And you can see the COs are mapped with the POs. And some of the POs, the mapping strength is 0. In some other case 1, in some other case 2, 3, etc. Okay. So this is for one CO, one course. And similarly, for every course, we have to map this. The same way, we can map COs with PSOs. But there is more correlation between a CO and a PSO, because PSO means program-specific outcomes, and the courses are designed more related to the PSOs for a particular program. So we'll have more mapping strength from CO to PSO. Okay. So in the same way, you can map CO to PSO. So that is about the mapping. Then we will pass on to the next section, that is calculation of attainment. And if you have any doubts, you can just ask. Then we will pass on to the next section. Want any clarification regarding mapping? You can put it in the chat box if there is any doubt. Okay. I hope it is clear. Second last slide. Okay. Okay. So as a best practice, I can tell you, you can have POs ranging from 8 to 12 numbers. You can start minimum 8, maximum 12 is good. UGC has suggested 15 graduate attributes. Out of 15 graduate attributes, you can select and you can have 8 to 12. That is good. For our college, Marian College, Kottayam, we have 9 POs. And for PSOs, 2 to 4 is good. 2 minimum, maximum 4. 4 is good, I think, for PSO. Okay. Okay. I hope it's fine. Then we will pass on to the next session. Yes. Somebody else asked for the second last slide, I think. This one. This is CO-PO mapping. We have 9 POs listed here. No, there is no formula for CO-PO mapping. Usually by practice, you can do it because just check the correlation between a CO and a PO. Okay. And definitely, I will give you some insights on this, maybe in the next section when we go with the attainment calculation. Okay. Actually, that is more important. Many of the faculty members or many institutions, they are doing all these things, for the sake of accreditation. There are many institutions, they call me and they want to explain the attainment of the outcomes calculated by somebody else. Some consultants or somebody will calculate the attainment and nobody knows how they have calculated it, only for the sake of accreditation. Actually, during these sessions, I hope, especially for the last 2 day sections, now you are aware of the importance of OB and the importance of the processes. That is very important. Attainment calculation, you can do it with some ICT tools or even some of the institutions, they are doing it with the Excel templates. But more than that, you should have the insights about OB, then the processes, how to improve the quality of teaching, quality of learning, again, employability, everything. So all this depends on the proper implementation of OB. So you need processes and you need insights. Okay, so that is very important. You can see, yeah, I will explain those things in the coming slides also, then you will understand it in a better way. Okay, Okay. So now we will be just discussing how we can calculate the attainment of outcome. So we'll calculate the attainment, then we'll see some of the analytical reports, tools and best practices. We will also explain with a tool, then you'll get more understanding about the analytical reports. Then the learning management system task, and finally we have the Q&A. In between, you have any doubts, you can put in the chat box. All these slides I will quickly go through because already we have discussed many things. What is OB and what? Just be in mind, like these words, know and are able to do. Okay, so that is very important. Now, what is the difference between the traditional system and OB? The traditional system, it is teacher-centric, whereas in OB, it is student-centric. And in traditional system, importance on teaching and content, whereas for OB, importance on learning and process. The process is very important. Then the traditional system, knowledge-driven and rote learning, whereas in OB, learning ensures knowledge and performance. And this is the paradigm shift. As a faculty member, before going to the class, usually we will think like this: what should I teach today for my next section? Like this. But in the OB system, as a teacher, I should think like this: what should my students be able to do with what they learn? So that is the outcome of today's section. Okay. So what should my students be able to do with what they learn today? Now, I hope almost all of you have seen this somewhere in the internet. You can see 90% of learning happens through when we teach others. Okay, so active learning, we can say 90% of the learning happens when we teach others. As faculty members, we have learned many things, more concepts when we started teaching. Okay, that is true for every faculty member. Again, 75% of the learning happens through when we practice something, or we can say that when the students do projects or internships or some assignments. Then through discussions, a lot of learning will happen. Demonstrations, audiovisual, reading, and you can see only 5% of learning happens through lecturing. Okay, why it is so? Can anybody say what is the attention span of a student nowadays? After the COVID, what is the attention span of a student? Anybody? You can respond in the chat box. 15 seconds. Okay, my God. 4 to 5 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah, 20 minutes. Recently, I have gone through an article that is a recent research study. And according to that research study, only 8 minutes. 8 minutes is the attention span of a student. Okay, so we are teaching them maybe our sections are 1 hour long, or sometimes even 90 minutes long. Okay. So more learning happens through other activities that you can see. Now, for more interaction, I will go to a Mentimeter poll so that you can just we should be convinced about these things. Just go through. Okay, there's one question. Definitely, we need answers for that. Okay, that we will discuss. I will share once more. I hope it's not visible. I shared a link in the chat box. I will share once more. Just one. I will share. Okay. Hope my screen is visible now. Okay. I've shared a link in the chat box. For those who are joined through YouTube, you can do one thing. You can go to menti.com. You can go to menti.com. That is a short form of Mentimeter. And you can go to the browser and type menti.com. And there you can type the code also. There is a code 15321196 on the top of the screen. You can type that code. Then there will be a question like this: strong pillars of a teacher, or strong pillars of a professional, or you can say the qualities of a good teacher. You can just give your responses there. Those who are joined through Cisco WebEx, I have shared the link on the chat box. Otherwise, you can go to menti.com in the browser. And in your mobile phone or your laptop, you can go to menti.com, and there you can type the code. The code is also displayed on the top of the screen, 15321196. What are the qualities of a good teacher? Or what are the strong pillars of a teacher? Understanding the student lifelong learning, sincerity, patience, presentation, communication, knowledge, passion, patience, okay, credibility, lesson plan. Okay. You can speed up before less time. So I will do one thing. I'll give you 60 seconds maximum. Okay. We'll use this information for the next section. Okay. Madam, you can, Dr. Indira, you can do one thing. You can go to the link, the chat box, open the link, then you can respond there. Otherwise, you can go to menti.com and you can type that code, which is displayed on the top of the screen. Okay, so there are a lot of responses we are getting. Empathetic, helping mentality, understanding that student. Open the link. Or once more, you can try. Open the link and try. A passion to teach, enthusiastic, self-preparation of the content. Okay, liability. Yeah, affection, punctuality, dedication. Okay. Now the time is over. Okay, you can look at these responses. So these are the qualities of a good teacher. Okay. So I will share it my LinkedIn profile later. If you want later, also you can look at this. Yeah. Now, my question is, if we can broadly divide these attributes into 3 areas, what are they? So there are a lot of attributes or skills or whatever thing you have responded to. And if we can divide this into 3 broad areas, what are the broad areas? Can anybody suggest? Cognitive, affective, psychomotor. Exactly. Yeah. Or in other words, we can say attitude, skill, and knowledge. Attitude, skill, and knowledge. Okay. Cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Cognitive represents knowledge. Affective domain represents attitude, and skills, psychomotor domain. Okay. So our POs, we can say they are divided into these 3 areas. If you look at the POs suggested by the UGC, program outcomes, or by the NBA, you can broadly divide the POs into these 3 areas: attitude, skill, and knowledge. And that is the 3 domains of Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. So fantastic. Very good. So you understood the concept. Now, one more. Yeah, we have one more slide. I will share that also. This is also very important for the next section. So, I will share the link once again. Yeah, you share the link. You can go to the link or check. Some problem. Just 1 minute. Okay. So this is the question. Again, you can go to that link, or you can join through browser or to menti.com, and you can use the code which is displayed on the top of the screen. There are two options. Either you can go to the link, open the link, and you can give the response. Otherwise, you can go to menti.com and you can type the code. Now, the question is, which activities or assessments is more suitable for OB? So the last sections, and today also we have discussed OB means there is a paradigm shift from teaching to learning. So more learning activities happens through which activities? And what is the best method to assess the student? Okay. Uh, 30 seconds more, can respond. Okay. You can respond to that particular activity which you find that is the most suitable one first. I think you can give 3 responses. So this is a trend. You can see only 8-9 seconds are remaining. This is a trend: project, case studies, internship, assignment, seminar, and last exams. Okay. So this is the trend anyway. So you can see more importance for project. So when we implement outcome-based education, if we can give more importance for a project or case studies or internships, assignments, seminars, that will be good. Okay. Exam means for the final exam, maybe in 3 hours, you are evaluating a student. And there are a lot of constraints. For example, most of the cases, it's very difficult to ask a create level question for the semester exam. Because if you ask a create level question, the students may not be able to provide the answer in 3 hours. Okay. So there are many constraints in that case. But for these projects or case study or internship or even for assignments, you can give them create level questions or higher order questions. Okay. So in that way, you can make every student to a desired level. For OB, when we implement OB, our objective is to bring every student to a desired level. Okay. So in that way, you can improve the quality of the education. Now, again, we'll be going back to the presentation. Please type yes if my PPT is visible.
Still the Mentimeter thing.
Okay. I will stop the presentation. I will do. Okay, this is where we have stopped. So I think now you are convinced with these concepts because when we give them the students project work or internship or case studies, more learning will happen. Okay. No, this also we have gone through 3 pillars of a professional or 3 pillars of a teacher. Knowledge, attitude, skill. See, these are the program outcomes suggested by NBA. for an engineering program, you can broadly divide these into 3 areas. And the last one is the habit, lifelong learning. Okay, knowledge, attitude, skill. You can broadly divide them into these 3 areas. Or these are the 3 domains: affective domain, cognitive domain, and psychomotor domain. So this is what we are going to calculate today. Suppose these are the POs, graduate attributes. Then if we can calculate the values of a particular student, for every student, if we can calculate like the values of the score of these graduate attributes, that means we have completed the process of OP implementation. Okay, these values are out of 3. It's only an example. This should be the outcome of today's section. Okay. Now, for the attainment calculation, I'm taking these 9 POs as an example, only for the demo purpose. And these are the program outcomes of our college, Marine College, Kottayam. These are the graduate attributes. We convert it into POs. Okay. So we have 9 POs. And for the demo purpose, I have taken 5 PSOs, a BCA program. This I have selected, I have got it from the internet. Okay. Don't look at the correctness of these PSOs. We'll be using this only for the demo purpose, calculation of attainment. So we have the POs, 9 POs already we have seen, and we have 5 PSOs of a BCA program. Then again, we have the COs of a particular course, Introduction to Computers. This is a basic course for the BCA program. I have selected again it from the internet. We have you can see 5 course outcomes for this particular course. Okay. The first one is identify the parts of the computer system. These are it's a basic level course. So the COs are also maybe of low order. And we can have activities, outreach or industrial visit, something like that. And these activities also can be mapped with the POs or PSOs. We can have outcomes for every activity. It is also possible. Then how we will be calculating the outcomes? How we will calculate the outcomes? This is a process. There will be a predefined mapping scale. Already we have discussed about a mapping scale, a 4-point scale, 0, 1, 2, 3. That is a mapping strength. Okay. Direct and indirect assessment methods may be used in preset proportions. So direct assessment means the assessments conducted by the institution, by the faculty members. Okay. All the assessments are direct assessments. Whereas if you are sending the students to an industry for an industry visit, and if you ask the industry people to evaluate the student based on some criteria, that can be an indirect assessment. Or if you conduct a survey at the end of the course, end of the semester, or end of the program for PO and PSO, you can ask the student like, what is your attainment of this for this particular CO? In your opinion, what is the attainment? So the student may respond for that survey question. So that is indirect assessment. Then we have different components, like we have subsequent examinations. Then we have regular internal assessments. Also, we can have other innovative continuous assessments. These are very important for the proper implementation of OP. We can have activities, events, personality assessments. Okay. And all these will be contributing to the attainment calculation. The questions in subsequent examination get mapped to different COs. So all the questions, the subsequent examination, and also the exams in the internal exams. You have internal exams, and there will be questions in for the internal question paper. And all these questions you can map with the different COs. Already we have discussed how we can map questions with the COs. Okay. And if you have some softwares like a question bank, you can already map all the questions to the COs or the Bloom's taxonomy levels in the question bank. And at the time of examination, you can generate a question paper and all this data will be there. So that some tools I will introduce maybe today and tomorrow. Then other components may wholly or at rubric level get mapped to different outcomes. So at rubric level also you can map these activities with the COs. COs are in turn mapped to with the CO, POs and PSOs that also already we have discussed. General activities may also be mapped to POs and PSOs. CO attainments can be tabulated at the end of each semester based on student scores. Okay, CO attainments, because at the end of the course, that means the semester end, you can calculate the CO attainments, whereas POs and PSOs, the final POs and PSOs, you can calculate only at the end of the program. Okay. And again, this is the same mapping scale we are using here also. Already we have discussed it. Weightage is 0, 1, 2, and 3. Attainment, if it is 0, nil attainment, weightage is 0. Okay, and we have an interval already defined, 1 to 50% low, 51 to 70% moderate, and 71 to 100% significant. That means the weightage is 3. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, you can have your own mapping scale. Only thing is when we prepare the OB manual, you can define all the policies there. Okay. This is an example of a mapping, CO, PO mapping, and here some activities are also there. So activity outcomes are also mapped with the POs. Course outcomes, there are 5 course outcomes and 9 POs. So each course outcome you can map with the different POs. And here you can notice that every CO will not be mapped with every PO. Okay. So every CO can be mapped with some of the POs depending on the correlation, the relation between that CO and PO. Again, at the end of the program, you will get a sample program matrix like this. I will explain what it is. The first column, you can see the course outcomes. Okay. Suppose you have a 3-year UG program, and on an average, if you have 5 courses or 5 subjects or 5 papers in each course, sorry, each semester. For a 3-year program, there are 6 semesters. So in the first semester, you may have 5 courses or papers or subjects, whatever it is. Second semester also, you may have 5 courses. So on an average, in each semester, if you have 5 courses, so in 6 semesters, 6 into 5, you will have 30 courses for a UG program. Okay, 30 courses for a UG program. And for 30 courses, each course, if we have 5 course outcomes each, for 30 courses, 30 into 5, that means 150 course outcomes will be there. So 150 course outcomes will be there for a UG program of 3 years. Okay, that is an average. And in the first column, all these 150 course outcomes will be listed. Okay, and you can map the COs with POs and PSOs, and finally you will get a table like this. At the end of the program, if it is a 3-year program, or if it is a 4-year program, whatever it is, you will get a program matrix like this, where first column will be all the COs, and you can see the POs and PSOs listed there. And the body of the table contains the mapping strength. Each CO mapped with the POs and PSOs. And if you check column by column, you can see in some particular column, there may be less number of values. That means for a particular PO or particular PSO, it will not be properly represented by COs. Okay, there is a chance for that. So what you can do is the next year, when you are redesigning the curriculum, okay, you can look at these areas and you can properly design courses such a way that the courses can be mapped with the POs. Otherwise, what you can do is you can add value-added courses or add-on courses for this gap, filling this gap. Okay, that also you can connect with accreditation. For example, in criteria 2, they will ask about add-on courses, criteria 1 and 2. Okay, why you are designed an add-on course? What is the need analysis? Okay, the need analysis coming from this OB process. Once if you design the POs and PSOs, and if you don't have enough courses to map with these POs and PSOs, then definitely you have to add more value-added courses or add-on courses or certificate courses or some activities, okay, to fill that gap. So this is the program matrix you'll get. Now, this is the most important task of the faculty. So a CO-linked assessment plan, every faculty has to prepare it. This is an example where 60% marks for final exam, substantive exam, and 40% for continuous assessment. So this may be different for different institutions. In some institutions or universities, it is 70-30, 70% for a final substantive exam and only 30% for continuous assessment. In some other cases, 50-50. Okay. So this is only an example to understand the process of attainment calculation. As I mentioned earlier, you should understand the process, because when we are going for accreditation, definitely the peer team members, those who visit the institution, they will ask the faculty members, what is the process of calculating the attainment? So you should understand the process. Maybe manually, it is not possible to calculate the attainment. That I will show you later. Okay. Now you can see the continuous assessment starting from seminar. Suppose I am giving 4 marks for seminar. And this seminar is depending on course outcome number 1. That means seminar is mapped with the CO1, or in other words, I will give a topic based on or to achieve or to attain that course outcome number 1. Okay. And the assignment I will provide to the students to attain CO2. That means it would be a topic related to CO2. Likewise. And you can see exam 1, exam 2, and exam 3, they are internal exams. And the questions there mapped with the different COs. And for final exam, the question paper contains questions from all the modules, the entire syllabus. So in that case, the final exam will be mapped with all the COs. Okay, this is only an example. In the institutions, it may be different, your ratio or your mapping pattern, everything may be different. Okay, this is only an example for giving you an idea about the mapping. Now, suppose the faculty is conducting the assessment. Okay, now we will consider the continuous assessments. And after that, we will consider the substantive exam. Suppose for the seminar, a student got 40% score for seminar, only 40% mark. So 40% falls in the interval 1 to 50%. So the attainment is 1 in that case. You can see the last column for seminar, attainment is 1. It is mapped with the CO1, course outcome number 1. Assignment. This is only a simple example to understand the process. I will make it complicated later, because weighted average, everything should come. This is only a simple one. Assignment, out of 3.5, the student got 85% mark. The score is 85%. So you can see from 71 to 100%, the mapping scale, we have the weightage 3, attainment. Similarly for CO3, and you can see for each activity, the last column is the attainment. And for the substantive exam, we will calculate it in a different way. So we will explain it later. Now you can see CO1 appears in 2 places. For seminar, CO1, attainment is 1. For exam 1, again CO1 is there, the attainment is 2. So for CO1 attainment, we can do one thing. For seminar, attainment is 1. For exam 1, attainment is 2. 1 plus 2 divided by 2. That is the average, simple average we are taking here. And later we will show you how to take the weighted average. The same way, CO2. For assignment, the values attainment is 3. For group activity, attainment is 3. And for exam 1, again, attainment is 2. So that means 3 plus 3 plus 2 divided by 3. We are taking the average. The same way for CO3, CO4, and CO5. And the activity outcomes. Now, coming to the final exam. If you are an autonomous college or if you are a university, you can have the individual marks. You will get the individual marks of the questions for each student. Okay. Now, suppose in the question paper, there are 25 questions. So, only an example. There are 25 questions in the question paper. Now, I am picking those questions which are mapped with the CO1. Okay. So, each of these questions is already mapped with the different COs. So, I am considering all those questions which are mapped with the CO1. So, here, question number 1, 16, 18, 23, and 25. These 5 questions are mapped with the CO1. Okay. And you can see the last column, the weightage. The last column means how these questions are mapped with the CO1. For example, question number 1 mapped with the CO1 with a weightage 2. Question number 16 mapped with the CO1 with a weightage 3. This we have discussed in the last session, last slide, how we can map questions with the COs. Okay, with an example, we have already discussed that one. So here also, you can see all these questions, 5 questions mapped with the CO1 with the different weightages that you can see the last column. Okay, these are the weightages, the last column. Then the third column means the question level attainment. For example, for question number 1, the mark is 1 out of 1. That means 100%. It's a 1-mark question. The student got 100% mark. So the question level attainment is 3. Because for 100% it is 3. And for question number 16, 1.5 out of 2, 75%. Again, question level attainment is 3. And for question number 18, 1 out of 2, 50% mark. Then at low attainment. For 1 to 50%, the attainment is 1. So the third column, depending on the marks obtained by the student, we can write the attainment. The scale is already showcased there. Okay. So the weightage, the last column means how these questions are mapped and what is the mapping strength of these questions with the CO. Now here we are taking the weightage, sorry, the weighted average. You can see 3 into 2 plus 3 into 3, 1 into 1, 2 into 2, and 1 into 3 divided by 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. So this is the value. This is the CO1 attainment. CO1 attainment of a particular student for the final exam. Only for one student, the CO1 attainment we are calculating here. Okay. Similarly, we have to calculate the attainment of CO2, CO3, and CO4. For that purpose, again, we have to choose the question numbers. See, this is the manual process. I already mentioned you cannot do it manually. I will show you a tool. Different tools are available so that you can automate all these activities. Just to map the questions with the COs, and already that data is there. So then if you upload the marks, the attainment calculation will be done. Okay. So only for understanding the process, I am explaining this. I hope this is okay for you. So we have calculated the CO1 attainment of a particular student for final examination. Okay. Then coming to the ratio for calculation. For example, we have 40% mark for continuous assessment and only 20%, sorry, only 60% for semester end exam. That was the ratio. But for attainment calculation, we can change that proportion because we have already seen that what type of activities are more suitable for OB implementation. And you are convinced with that. The project work, internship, case studies, assignment, seminar, All these comes in the continuous assessment. So these are the activities or assessments which are more suitable for the attainment of OB, the outcomes, attainment of outcomes. For the OB implementation process, these are the suitable activities. So that means we should give more value. Okay, more sorry, more weightage for the continuous assessment activities. Okay, so here I am giving 80% weightage for continuous assessment only for calculation of the attainment. This will not reflect in the mark list. The mark list, you will have the marks based on the university criterion, maybe 60% for final exam and 40% for continuous assessment. But for calculation of the attainment, I have changed that proportion because I'm convinced that for a proper OB implementation, we need more activities like project than assignment, seminar, etc. Okay, so I have given 80% for continuous assessment and 20% for final exam. So you can calculate the CO attainment like this. Okay, then coming to the direct and indirect assessments. We have already discussed what is direct assessment and what is indirect assessment. So you can conduct a survey at the end of the semester for each course and at the end of the program for each program. We can give 20% weightage for survey or indirect assessment and 80% weightage for direct assessment. That is one way of doing it. Or even there are some institutions, they will give only 10% weightage for indirect assessment and 90% for direct assessment. So again, that's according to the policy of the institution. You can finalize all these things. That should come in the OB manual. Okay. So again, we have, according to this proportion, we have calculated the attainment. And finally, we can calculate the attainment of every student for every COs. And you will get a table for the entire batch of 60 students. If there are 60 students in the batch, you can see the name of the student and CO1 attainment, CO2, likewise CO5 attainment, the table. This is for one course. And similarly, we can calculate it for all the courses. Okay. And finally, you can compute everything. You can, again, you can have this percentage attainment. What is the percentage attainment? All these things you can calculate. For example, percentage of students attaining more than 60%. Number of students above 1.8, because if you are calculating it out of the 4-point scale, out of 3, 1.8 is the 60%. And 2.4 is the 80%. Okay. So these values analytics you can calculate. Then how we will calculate the PO or PSO? We will calculate course outcomes directly, attainment of course outcomes directly, because all these activities or assessments which are mapped with the COs, we can calculate CO attainment directly. But for PO and PSO, through COs we can calculate it. We have a CO-PO mapping and a CO-PSO mapping. So here, once if you have completed the course outcome attainment calculations, then we can have this table. For example, how we will calculate PO1. Suppose our CO1 for the first course, the value is 2.12. Then CO1 of that course is mapped with the PO1 with a strength 2. CO2 is mapped with the PO1 with a strength 3, and the CO2 attainment is 1.52. So once you calculate all the attainments of COs, then you can calculate PO likewise. You can see the second column, PO1 calculate, how we will calculate it, 2 into 2.12, 3 into 1.52, 1 into 2.52, etc. And finally, the weighted average, the last row, you will get the PO1 value. Similarly, PO2 value, PO3 value, etc. This is for one student. And then for every student, we can calculate like this. As I mentioned earlier, you cannot calculate it manually. So PO attainment levels could be based on attainment levels of direct assessment and indirect assessment again. 80% weightage may be given to direct assessment or 90%. That also according to the policy of the institution. Programs may have different weightages with appropriate justification. Then final calculation of the PO. Again, direct assessment, indirect assessment for PO. We can give the weightage. So you'll get a table like this. PO calculation and PSO calculation. After completing it, you'll get a table like this for every student. Get a values. Then we can calculate the ratio and institutional level evaluations like average attainment level with respect to POs and PSOs of every outgoing batch with percentage students above various levels of attainment that you can calculate. Because POs are same for all the students. Maybe in most of the arts and science colleges, your PO may be same for maybe in some cases POs are different for UG and PG, but it is generic and it's same for all the students. So you can calculate the institutional level POs, the attainment. Then surveys, employer survey, alumni survey, then identifying the gap and formulating action plans. These are the areas where you can look up. Now we will, I will show you some tools, then we will discuss. If you have any doubts, we will clear it. So what is the progression? What does OB aim to address? What do we want the students to know or understand or be able to do? So these are the skill sets. How can we best help the students to achieve it? So as a guide, we have to perform, and also there are processes involved. And it's very important that the processes should be there. Then how will we know whether the students have achieved it? Assessment and evaluation. Through assessment and evaluation, we can check whether the attainment of outcomes are achieved. Then how do we close the loop? As I mentioned earlier, continuous quality improvement is required. So then you can close the loop. So for example, if a particular PO is not properly addressed by the activities, the course outcomes, then you may redesign the curriculum in that case. Okay. This is my phone number and my mail ID. If you want to contact me later, this is my WhatsApp number also. You can send a message if you want to have any doubts or any support you require for your OB implementation process. You can contact me. And now we will pass on to the discussion about one or two tools, how we can use a tool and the analytical reports based on that. Okay. Okay, I will show you a tool where how we can. Yes, definitely. Manually, it is not possible. It is not possible to calculate the attainment because we have seen the rigorous process involved. Okay. Okay, I hope you can see the screen. This is a tool where you can add course outcomes and this is a faculty login because a faculty may be handling some courses. Suppose I am handling a course like this. So an example again. First of all, I have to upload the course outcomes. So you can have a template, Excel template, and you can upload the course outcomes and the target for each outcome. Okay, so you can fix a target. So initially you may fix the 50% or 60% target. It's just like, pass mark for your exams. Your maximum mark may be 100, but out of 100, you'll fix 50% or 60% mark for a pass or for a distinction or for a first class, etc. So in that way, you can fix a target for that. So this is the first step we have to do. Then you can do the mapping. Again, there is an Excel sheet. You can download the Excel sheet and you can do the mapping. It's already mapped. The CO is already mapped with the different POs. These are the POs mentioned there. And these are the COs. And these are COs are already mapped with the POs with the mapping strength. In some cases, there are zero mapping. There is, okay. Similarly, we can have the CO PSO mapping. And you can check the summary. So if you are using, again, a ICT tool, you'll get some analytics like this. You can see each PO. For example, PO number 2. There are only 2 COs mapped with the PO2. So then you can revisit again. And if you find that some other COs can also be mapped, you can do it. So with this data analytics tools, it is possible. How each PO is represented by COs, you can see. And this will be useful for your syllabus redesign, maybe in future. Similarly, for a PSO distribution, everything is available. Then I will just quickly go through this tool because we don't have much time. Then the components. So the components means there may be exams and each of these questions are already mapped with the Bloom's taxonomy levels and COs. Okay. So you'll get that information from somewhere else. If you are using a question bank, I'll show you a question bank and an example of a question bank maybe the next tomorrow. So you can, if you have already a question bank, the questions are already mapped there. You can bring that information to this tool. Okay, you can see each and every question is mapped with the different taxonomy levels and the COs. The marks are also given there. Then, suppose we are conducting an assignment. Okay, you can give the criteria or rubrics there, and each and every criteria or rubrics you can map with the Bloom's taxonomy levels and the COs. These are COs. You can see the COs, and you can map each and every rubrics. Or if you have no rubrics, the assignment as such you can map with the Bloom's taxonomy and the COs. Similarly, group discussion or any other assessment you are conducting for the students. Everything you can map with the respective Bloom's taxonomy levels and COs. Okay. So once if you do, this is actually the CO linked assessment plan, which I have mentioned earlier in the PowerPoint slide. And once if you have all this CO linked assessment plan, whenever you conduct an assessment, if you conduct an exam or a assignment or seminar, at that point of time, you can upload the mark. You can upload the mark again using an Excel sheet. You can download an Excel sheet and you can upload the marks there. And after uploading the marks, you will get the attainment like this. So no need of manual calculations. This is an example where the course outcomes are calculated. The attainments are calculated for a batch of 60 or how many students. Yeah, 40 students. You can see first column, course outcome number 1, attainment out of 3 for each student, the first column. Second column, average of the batch. Similarly, CO2, average of the batch, CO3, etc. You can see the attainment of each student for different COs. So here the only thing the faculty has to do is the mapping. We have to upload the course outcomes, that fits the target, COPO mapping, COPSO mapping, and each and every assessment you have to map with the respective COs. And finally, you can upload the marks, you will get the attainment. Okay. Similarly, for a taxonomy, course outcomes, again, taxonomy, what is the attainment? PO attainment. Okay, for each and every student. So this is the first semester, that is the PO attainment is less. So once if you complete the entire program, the CO attainment, you will get it there. And again, you will have some reports like this. It's an example of a report. You can see we have is the target 60% or 50%. That is the first row. Then the average of the students, the batch, average attainment. Then standard deviation, you can see percentage of attainment. Percentage attainment, you can see 90%, 90%, and here only 70.5% for the CO3. So that means very low attainment for CO3. So that to improve that attainment, you can conduct some other activity. And that can be an OB only activity. That means it will not reflect in the mark list, but that can be used for calculation of OB attainment, outcome attainment. Okay, so that you can bring every student to the desired level, or we can call it assurance of learning. So you can immediately check the reports, and the faculty can conduct more activities or assessments so that every student can be brought to the desired level. Okay, and again, this is useful for accreditation purpose. We can call assurance of learning. That concept we have implemented in our institution, right? And there are some other, again, difficulty index report, split target, everything is available. Split target means if you have reached a different target, what would have been the attainment percentage? Okay. So difficulty index report means when we ask questions, what will be the difficulty level of that questions? Okay, I'm skipping that reports. Then coming to the HOD login. The HOD login, there are many other analytics available. I will show you 2 or 3 of them. Okay, the progression of a particular student in comparison with the batch. See, for example, here we have the blue line and the yellow line. The blue line represents the progression of the batch, how the batch is progressing over semesters. Okay, there are 6 semesters here. And the yellow line represents the student progression over semesters. Okay, this is about Bloom's taxonomy levels, then POs and PSOs. Okay, this is actually a comparison of the student performance with the batch performance. And this is useful for PTA meetings. You can communicate to the parents how the student is performing in comparison with the batch. Okay, with data, that is the advantage. Again, show you another report. This is the performance of a particular student in the second semester compared to the first semester. So we can see how the student is performing in different areas. You can see more upward trends for PO and PSO. Okay. And if you're going to the third semester, you can see more downward trend. More downward trend in those cases. Okay. That means there may be some problems for the student in that particular semester. Maybe it's a personal problem or family problem, or problems with a particular topic or subject. Okay. In that case, the faculty can take remedial measures. The department can take remedial measures. So we'll get a report of this outlier analysis. That means you'll get a list of students who are performing like this. Okay. And again, we'll get a slow learners report or advanced learners report. Many other reports are available. So the importance of these reports, I think you can understand. But the thing is, if you are not properly doing the process for OB, like suppose your mapping is not proper, or your inputs regarding your activities or assessments are not proper, then definitely these results have no meaning. Okay. So the important thing is, as a faculty, we should understand, we should have the insights of the OB process, the mapping, the Bloom taxonomy levels, everything. We should be thorough with all these concepts. Then only we can have a perfect report of the student. So with the data analytics, we can have n number of analytical reports we can even understand each and every student in a better way by using these reports. And you can definitely implement remedial measures for that. Okay. So this is about the tool. If you are using a tool, definitely these are the benefits. Okay. And you can focus more on some your innovative teaching, learning, or assessment activities. That is very essential for the OB implementation process. Okay. Then coming to today's activities. So this is the learning management system. Where we have the contents are already there. Then the activities for each day is given. Tomorrow I will explain the Padlet. You can use some AI platform and you can create questions, you can create course outcomes, create innovative assessments, assignments. So for today, day 5, we have 2 activities. And tomorrow I'll explain about these Padlet activities. So this is the LMS. You have a lot of contents available there. Just go through the contents. I will explain the activity for today. So I think I have to stop this sharing and so this is today's task. Formulation of assessment questions with respect to a course outcome and finding the mapping strength. So you can pick up a topic from the course if you have written the course outcome. Otherwise, you can write a course outcome. You can write a course outcome here. Then out of that particular syllabus course, you can have a remember level question. Okay. And you can map this particular question with this course outcome. The course outcome already you have written there. So you can select another course outcome or the same course outcome and with the understanding level question and what is the mapping strength. Or you can have another course outcome. Course outcome you can write here and you can have a question, analysis level question here. And what is the mapping strength? What is the mapping strength of this question with that course outcome? Okay. So this is one task for today. I hope this is clear. First of all, you have to have the course outcomes. If it is already not designed, you can design a course outcome from your course. Then you can have questions. We can frame questions and you can map those questions in the course outcomes. Then you can upload the LMS. That is that is one activity, one task for today, and one more task. This is an interesting task. You can calculate the attainment, a miniature of attainment calculation process. Here, this is an Excel sheet. So CEO computation Excel sheet. We can see there are 3 tabs. One is CEO mapping, other one is mark entry, and third one is scorecard. 3 sheets for this Excel. Okay. So the first sheet, you can just have the course outcomes here. Suppose you have 5 or 4 or 5 course outcomes. You can write the course outcomes, or even no need of writing the course outcomes because the CO1, CO2 is mentioned there. You can understand what your CO1 is. Okay. Then here you can select some questions from an internal exam or an external exam. Suppose you are selecting 10 questions from the internal exam. Again, you can type the questions here. Otherwise, question number is there. It's enough. No need of writing the questions. Then you can map that particular question with the CO. CO, if it is mapped with the CO1, by default, there is a mapping strength 1 given there. You can change it. Suppose CO, question number 1 is not mapped with the CO1, nil mapping. And if it is mapped with the CO2 with a mapping strength 2, you can put it there. And there is no mapping with the CO3, you can fill that empty space. CO, okay, only CO5. Then second question again, you can map like this. Third question, similarly 10 questions are there, you can map. And you also give the maximum mark here. Suppose this is question number 1 with a 1 mark question, you can put the maximum mark of that question there. Okay, so this is what you have to do. The first sheet, course outcomes. If it is already there, no need of writing it, just to, for your reference, you can keep it with you. Then the questions you can map with the different COs. You can see the mapping and everything will come there automatically. No need of adding anything there. And now you can go to the second sheet, mark entry. You can select your 10 students, roll number 1 to 10. Then question number 1, what is the mark for the first student? You can put it there. And for roll number 10, for question number 1, what are the marks you can enter there. Then here, you can put the target. Already mentioned, we can fix a target 50% or 60%. Suppose I'm putting 50% target. For each CO, you can change the target. The number of students, if you're choosing number of students, 10, just enter 10 there. So you can enter the mark, name of the student, if required, you can put it, otherwise roll number is enough. Now, after entering all this, you can go to the third sheet. There is no data entry in the third sheet. You will get the attainment. Okay. Of each of the 10 students. Name of the students, if you put it there, it will be there. And average CO attainment, everything, you will get it here. Okay, so this is about the tasks for today. Now, if you have any doubt, we will discuss that. I think there were some questions.
If you have any questions, Amanda, sir, you can put that in the chat.
Your attainment target is based on class average. No. CO attainment target you can fix, like, for example, I tell you, if for your particular subject or course, the maximum mark is 100, then for pass mark, you may fix 40%, or for this first class, you may fix 60%. That way, you can fix a target. Okay. We cannot assume that every student will attain the outcomes. Okay, full attainment, that 100% attainment we cannot expect. So we can say that we have a target like 50% or 60% attainment. Okay, you can put it like that. Then what you are trying to calculate is, you are trying to calculate the attainment of outcomes for each student. And again, how much percentage of students have attained that target. That is what you are going to calculate. What is the target here? Mentioned in task. target, you can fix 50 or 60. That according to your discretion, you can do it. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Usually, this attainment calculation is a tough subject. In one section, you may not be able to understand the entire process. The videos are available. You can just go through the videos, and only for the accreditation process, you should understand the process. As I mentioned earlier, the OB process itself is very important. So if you want to improve the quality of your institution, the teaching quality and the learning quality or the employability, definitely in the process, you have to bring many things. Even, you should have innovative activities, assessments, and learning activities. More learning should happen rather than teaching. And you can use many tools, like Padlet is a tool where you can use. I will just give you an idea of the Padlet. I am using it for my assessment activities, that I can give you an idea. So tomorrow you'll be doing a task on the Padlet. So there is an online tool called Padlet. This is available for free. You can go to padlet.com. It is displayed there. You can go to padlet.com and you can have a sign up. So something happened today for Padlet. It's not coming. Otherwise, tomorrow I'll explain it. Taking more time today. Yeah, Padlet is coming. I'll give you one example. There's one question by Madam Anchu Jarin. Sir, when we have options in essay and problem section, and the best two essays fully evaluated, then how can the attainment COs be attained? Okay, that won't be a problem actually. I can tell you, you can map all the questions. Okay, and the student may be writing answer for one or two. If there are options, student may be writing answer for one question. It's okay, fine. Don't worry about it. Because when we calculate the attainment, it depends on so many activities. We have OB only activities. We can have n number of activities. That is why you already mentioned, no, the processes are very important. Like you should not depend more on the semester exam or even for the internal exams. Other than that, you can conduct many other activities that will help you the proper calculation of attainment. And one or two questions, it will not make any difference. Okay. I'll show you this Padlet. because this you have to use tomorrow. This is an example of a Padlet. You can see this is one of my the task I have given to my students 2 weeks before, maybe 3 weeks before, I hope. So these are the tasks. Identify. This is a task on operational research and graph theory. So they have to identify some projects. They have to develop some models. They have to do a sensitivity analysis, and there is a software called Thora. It's an open source software. They have to download it, and the task is they have to submit this on the Padlet itself. Submissions by each student should be unique. If there is a duplication, it will be rejected. They given the last date also there, and the first student will submit like this. This is the first student submission. Okay. That's uploaded. That's a PDF. I can download the PDF. The thing is, for the second student, that student has to go through this this assignment already submitted. Then only he can submit it, because this is transparent and it's visible for every student. So if there is any duplication, it will be rejected. So they cannot copy it. Usually, for when we give assignments, the students they will copy it from their friends and they will submit the assignment. So here no copying is possible, and it is transparent, it is visible, so that even before the deadline every student will submit it. Otherwise what will happen, the lazy fellow, he has to go through all the assignments, then only he can submit it. Otherwise there will be a duplication. And I have assigned 2 of my students to evaluate all these assignments, and they have to provide me a grade, like who will be the number 1. Okay. The ranking they have to give me, so that they have to go through all these assignments. And for these 2 students, they need not submit any assignment, but they have to evaluate it, so that learning will happen. And automatically the copying is not possible. And our workload will also be reduced. We can assign 2 or 3 students for the assessment. Okay, all these are possible. Okay, so the Padlet you can use this, as I mentioned, this is free, and if you are using it regularly, then it's better. You can pay for it. I think it's only 1,000 plus 1,500 or something like that. Lot of things we can use utilize Padlet for that purpose. Even can understand the students. Usually when they come for come to the college, I will ask them to upload their details, including the photos, so that at any time I can go through it, and whenever I meet a student. And this is not public. If I approve only, then it will be public. It's only visible for me. So this Padlet is a good tool where you can use it, and it is free also. Tomorrow I will give you some. I will explain about some AI platforms where you can create question papers in 1 or 2 minutes. If you provide the syllabus or a topic, you will get question papers. Course outcomes we can design. If you provide the syllabus, you will get course outcomes in 2 minutes. And innovative assessment activities. And that is very important for OB implementation. That also will be available. We can generate it through some AI platforms. In case of relative grading, many students get passed, but attainment is not achieved. Actually, every student will achieve the attainment, in my opinion, because okay, if you are going for marks, there will be a rank, and there will be pass mark, distinction, etc. Okay, for grading, definitely everybody will pass. That is true. But at the same time, when we calculate attainment, we can bring every student to the desired level, or according to the Bloom's taxonomy levels to the higher order. That I think you have you might have convinced with yesterday's session by Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. When they conducted a survey, you can see there was a table, a report, where most of the students in India, they are in the lower order taxonomy. They are confused graduates. Okay, something you have seen there. So our goal is to bring every student to the desired level. Okay, that is very important when we think about employability. And okay, any other questions? I hope there are no other questions. Then we will wind up for today. And tomorrow we will discuss about some AI platforms for research and also for AI platforms for OB implementation purpose. Then to make our job easy, because when we implement OB, definitely there is a question. It will definitely increase the workload of the faculty. So in order to reduce the workload, definitely we will go with some ICT tools and AI platforms that we will discuss tomorrow. And we'll also discuss about how this is beneficial for accreditation purposes. Okay. So thank you very much for patiently listening to me for the last 2 hours. Thank you very much. We will meet again tomorrow.
Thank you, Mendes sir. Thank you for the wonderful session. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have AI in research by Dr. Suresh Nambudiri as the first session. Then we'll have OB for accreditation and useful tools by Dr. Mendes. And also we'll have the feedback and validative function, as tomorrow will be the last day of the FTP. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending this session. We will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m.